All right, so tonight's dinner is spaghetti. I'm actually going to toss some of my leftover meatballs in there, but I'm going to start by browning my meat. Got my meat over here. And then I'm going to pour my sauce in and let that simmer. And then I will jump to boiling my pasta and steaming my vegetable and baking my bread. Hopefully that covers some of the criteria that we have for this extra credit. But I will go ahead and start by putting my meat in. I've already got my pan warming up. I think it's pretty warm actually. And there you go, you hear the sizzle. There we go. And I like to do hamburger mixed with some sweet Italian sausage. So I get about one of each, about a pound of each. And I have my handy dandy mixer here. I'm doing it in a pot instead of in a saute pan because I'm going to just add the sauce to it. So I'm just going to heat the meat up and go from there. So anyway, just kind of mixing the meat all together. Like I said, I'm not sure if the meat being browned is considered sauteing or not. I'm not sure if it classifies that way. But yeah, I'm just going to brown this meat, let it cook through all the way, and then I will add a few ingredients and my sauce. So I'll see you in a few. All right, so it's ground up pretty good. Small pieces. I no longer see any pink. And I want to double check and make sure that there's no pink because there's sausage in it. So I'm going to actually let it cook just a little bit longer. Just for precaution. And I will be ready to move on. All right, so now my next step is I'm going to put in about 2 teaspoons, heaping teaspoons. Instead of pressing it down, I just let it melt up a little bit into my hamburger and sausage combination here. About 2. And then I do about 3 teaspoons of red cooking wine. So we're going to do that. 1, 2, 3. All right. Now I'm going to let that kind of cook together. I'm going to stir it in real good. I'm going to let that cook together for about 5 minutes or so. Just let it kind of caramelize a little bit and mix in together. I'm going to let that just, I'm going to turn it down just below medium. As the sizzling kind of goes down, I can stir it around again. All right, so my next step is to open my jars of spaghetti sauce. I also mix flavored with meat and traditional. I mix those in together, so. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my jar. I'm going to fill it not quite up to the paper, but just below the paper with water. Swish it around and get all of the tomato sauce in there and pour it into this one and do the same thing. So I'll be right back. I probably didn't even have to pause it. I was only 2 seconds. All right, so now I've got just a little bit of water in here. It did end up getting to the paper. I'm just going to shake it. I can hear my stuff's getting pretty warm over there now. Switch. Get the lid for this one. Try to get all of the good stuff. Shake it. I'm going to pour all that extra in. All right. Now I'm just going to take a couple seconds to clean up as I go. And stir this so it doesn't splash me. All right, so my sauce is pretty much done. I'm just going to let it simmer. So I'm going to turn it to about a 2. And yeah, I'm just going to let it simmer until we're about ready to eat. As it gets closer time for us to eat, I will start on my noodles so that they're not cold when we eat. And I will steam our vegetables. So, yeah, I'll see you back in time for noodles and vegetables. Okay, so I just added the meatballs in. So I'm not sure if this counts as braising because it's a lot of meat, but there's one of the meatballs that I've got in here. I've got a few of them. And I'm just going to let this meat and sauce just keep simmering. That's what I'm going for, is a simmer, so I got to keep an eye on the temperature and make sure it's not boiling sauce, but simmering and heating up. So I'm also going to keep a lid on it to try to keep some of the moisture in. And yeah, so like I said before, I'll see you when it's time to boil the noodles and steam the vegetables.